There is a secret meeting that happened 48 hours ago that nobody in the financial media is reporting. It didn't happen on Wall Street. It didn't happen in a bank. It happened on a private airstrip in Nevada, and it involved executives from 3 of the largest technology companies on Earth. While you were staring at your screen, watching the price of silver crash to $75, while you were worrying about your portfolio, the people who actually run the world were celebrating. Not because they are selling silver, but because they are buying it all. We have received intel that Tesla, along with 2 other major tech giants, has just initiated a strategic bypass of the public markets. They have stopped buying silver from the exchanges. They have stopped trusting the banks to deliver. Instead, they are going directly to the source. They are flying directly to the mines in Mexico and Peru, and they are buying the metal before it even comes out of the ground. Why would they do this? Why would Elon Musk and the titans of Silicon Valley panic over a metal that the news says is crashing? Because they know the truth. They know the crash on Friday wasn't real. They know the paper price is a lie. And most importantly, they know that in about 5 days, there won't be any silver left to buy at any price. We are witnessing a Tesla panic. It is a silent run on the bank, but the bank isn't holding cash. It's holding the one metal that makes the modern world function. And if you own physical silver right now, you are holding the exact asset that these trillion-dollar companies are desperate to take from you. Welcome to the hidden economy. Today, I'm going to expose the secret deal that is draining the world's silver, why the miners are declaring force majeure, and why the price you see on your screen is about to become completely irrelevant. To understand why Tesla is panicking, you have to forget about charts for a second. Forget about trading. Forget about the Federal Reserve. We need to talk about physics. You cannot build an electric car without silver. You cannot build a solar panel without silver. You cannot build an iPhone, a laptop, or an AI server without silver. Silver is the most conductive metal on the periodic table. That means it moves electricity better than anything else in the universe. In a world that is becoming more digital, more electric, and more high-tech every single day, silver is not just money. It is oxygen. For a company like Tesla, silver is a matter of survival. If they run out of silver, the assembly line stops. The robots turn off. The cars don't get built. Their stock price goes to zero. So, look at what happened on Friday. The paper price of silver crashed 35%. It dropped to $75. Now, if you were a normal shopper and you saw your favorite product go on sale for 35% off, you would be happy, right? You would think, great, I can buy more for less money. But the industrial giants, they weren't happy on Friday. They were terrified. Why? Because in the commodities market, a price crash like that usually means one thing: the market is broken. When the price drops that low, the miners, the people digging the rock out of the ground, stop making money. And when they stop making money, they stop selling. Tesla looked at that $75 price tag and they realized something terrifying. At $75, the mines are going to close. At $75, the supply chain freezes. So while retail investors were panic selling their paper contracts, Tesla's procurement teams were panic buying physical metal. They realized that if they didn't secure the metal now, there wouldn't be any metal later. This is the secret deal. While the public price shows a crash, the private price, the price Tesla pays to secure a 1,000-ounce bar, is skyrocketing. They are paying premiums we have never seen before just to skip the line. Now let's talk about the other side of this deal. The miners. Imagine you own a lemonade stand. It costs you $2 to make a glass of lemonade, but suddenly the government says you can only sell it for $1. What do? You don't keep selling. You close the stand. You keep the lemons. You wait until the price goes back up. That is exactly what is happening in the silver mines of Mexico, Peru, and Chile right now. We are calling it the miners' revolt. When the paper price crashed on Friday, it crossed a red line. It dropped below the incentive price for many miners. It became too cheap for them to justify selling their inventory. So we are starting to see a wave of legal declarations called force majeure. Force majeure is a fancy legal term. It basically means unavoidable accident. Usually companies use it when there's a hurricane or an earthquake and they can't deliver their products. But now, miners are using it as a shield. They are telling the bullion banks, we cannot deliver the silver you ordered. We are declaring force majeure. They are claiming supply chain issues. They are claiming labor strikes. They are claiming equipment failures. But the real reason is simple. They refuse to sell their treasure for fake paper prices. This is why the vaults are empty. The miners are hoarding their own production. They are sitting on the silver waiting for the price to reflect reality. And who can blame them? Why would they sell real silver to JP Morgan for $75 when they know they can sell it to Tesla or Apple in a private deal for $120? This is the disconnect we talked about in the last video. The paper market is a ghost town. The real action is happening in private deals between miners and tech giants. And you, the retail investor, are not invited to that table. Now, let's tie this back to the insolvent bank we discussed in the last video. Remember, we received intel that a major bank was liquidated over the weekend. Why did they fail? They failed because they promised to deliver silver to a tech giant, let's call them Big Tech Corp, and they couldn't find the metal. Big Tech Corp paid for the silver months ago. They have a contract. They need that metal to build their new AI chips. When Friday came, they asked for delivery. The bank went to the market to buy the silver, but the miners said no. The vaults were empty. The Perth Mint was closed. The bank was trapped. Well, they owed metal they didn't have and couldn't buy. They technically defaulted. Now, usually, in this situation, the bank would just pay cash. They would say, sorry, we don't have the silver, here's your money back. But Big Tech Corp said no. They said, we don't want your cash. Cash doesn't conduct electricity. Cash doesn't build solar panels. We need the metal. This is the nightmare scenario for the banking system. When the biggest companies in the world stop accepting cash settlements and start demanding physical assets, the game is over. This is why Tesla is panic buying. They saw what happened to Big Tech Corp. They saw that the bank couldn't deliver. They realized that a contract with a bank is just a piece of paper. It is a promise that can be broken. So Tesla decided to eliminate the middleman. They are cutting out the banks. They are cutting out the COMEX exchange. They are going straight to the mine. This drains liquidity from the public markets even faster. It means that the silver you see on the inventory reports isn't actually available. It has already been spoken for by Elon Musk, Tim Cook, and the Chinese government. We have to talk about solar energy because this is the ticking time bomb. New solar panel technology is changing. We are moving to something called TOPCon panels. You don't need to know the technical details, but you need to know this. These new panels are much more efficient, but they use 50% to 80% more silver than the old ones. The solar industry is exploding. Governments around the world are mandating green energy. They are printing trillions of dollars to build solar farms. But they forgot one thing. They forgot to check if there was enough silver. This year, the solar industry alone was projected to consume 20% of the entire global silver supply. But with the new technology, that number is jumping to 30% or maybe even 40%. Just one industry consuming almost half the world's supply. Now, combine that with the miners' revolt. Combine that with the export bans from China. Solar companies are facing a solar cliff. If they don't get silver, they go bankrupt. They have billions of dollars in government contracts to fulfill. Penalties for missing deadlines are massive. So, solar companies are joining the panic buying. They are bidding against Tesla. They are bidding against China. Imagine an auction where there is only one item left and 3 billionaires are fighting for it. The price doesn't just go up a little bit, it goes vertical. And yet, look at your screen. The paper price says $75. This is the lie. This is the illusion. The paper price assumes that there is infinite silver available. It assumes that if the price goes up, miners will just dig more. But we know that takes 10 years. The industrial giants live in the real world. They live in a world of physical scarcity, and they are paying whatever it takes to survive. We are entering a phase called the Great Bifurcation. That is a big word, but it means something simple. The market is splitting in two. On one side, you have the public market. This is the spot price you see on your phone. This is the paper market run by banks. In this market, silver looks cheap, it looks abundant, it looks like a bad investment. On the other side, you have the private market. This is where Tesla, Apple, Samsung, and the Chinese government operate. In this market, silver is trading for $120, $130, maybe even $150 an ounce. Deals are done in secret. Cash is wired directly to mines. Metal is moved on unmarked trucks. The average person only sees the public market. They see the price drop and they get scared. They sell their silver. And guess who buys it? The private market. Every time you sell an ounce of silver because you are scared of the chart, it gets melted down and put into a Tesla. It leaves the public market forever. This bifurcation cannot last. Eventually, the public market will run dry. The COMEX will admit they have 0 ounces left. When that happens, and it could happen as soon as next week, the two markets will snap back together. The paper price will have to chase the physical price. That is the gap up we talked about. Overnight, the price on your screen will jump from $75 to $150 to match reality. And if you are not holding physical metal when that happens, you will be left behind. You won't be able to buy it. The buy button will disappear. So why does this all matter right now? Why is Feb 15th the critical date? Because February 15th is when many of these industrial contracts reset. It is when the new delivery cycle begins for the factories. The tech giants know that if they don't secure their metal before the 15th, they are going to be facing empty warehouses for the next quarter. They are front-running the deadline. This creates a massive squeeze window over the next 5 days. The force majeure letters are flying. The secret deals are being signed. The bank insolvency is being covered up to prevent a panic. But you know the truth. You know that the price drop was a trap. You know that it was designed to shake you out so that Tesla could buy your silver cheap. Do not give it to them. You are holding the most strategic asset on the planet. You are holding the keys to the digital future. If you have physical silver, you are effectively a partner in this new economy. You own a piece of the bridge to the future. Do not sell that bridge for worthless paper dollars. The panic at Tesla proves that you are right. The panic in the solar industry proves that you are right. The force majeure from the miners proves that you are right. The entire world is screaming that silver is valuable except for the manipulated number on your screen. Ignore the screen. Watch the actions of the giants. Watch what they do, not what they say. They are buying every ounce. They are draining the vaults. They are preparing for a world where silver is more valuable than gold because you can't run a civilization without it. Hold your position. Stay strong. The supply shock is here. And next week, the world is going to find out just how empty the vaults really are. This is Finance News Hub. I will keep tracking the private jets. I will keep tracking the mine closures. I will keep exposing the secret deals. Make sure you are subscribed so you don't miss the update when the price finally snaps. We are in the end game now. Don't blink.